to this new lesson from Tenable Security Center. In the last lesson, we deployed the VMs, configured them, configured the name, the IP addresses, and so on. So right now, we need to start our configuration for Tenable Security Center. As I mentioned in the last lesson, you need to download the Tenable license key and to get the activation code from Tenable community and your account and products section. So right now, let's go to our security center. Now we will access the security center service, not the instance. We need to access the service using the HTTPS and the IP address. As you can see here, here's the quick setup guide. So we can go ahead and click next. For anyone who don't want to go with the wizard and configure the system manually or by using the tabs, you can exit the quick setup guide. But for the first time, I prefer or recommend to use the quick setup guide. So press next. In this tab, as you can see here, you need to update and upload the license file that you download from the Tenable community website. Then you need to add the NISA scanner code and press register. This step needs internet connectivity. After doing this step, you need to press the next button here on the right. If you need to activate the NISA's network monitoring and the localization engine, you need also to add the codes for them. For me, I will update the license file and the code, then go to the next step. You need to make sure that you added a valid license file and license code, then press next. In this tab, you will configure the NISA scanner. You probably asking yourself, we did not configure our NISA scanner yet, but yes, we can add the information here and prepare for the connectivity. Here's my IP address, here's my description. Here in the name, I added the IP address, and in the host, I must add the IP address. Here's the default port. It's by default here. It's 8834. This scanner is enabled. If you need to verify the hostname or use a proxy, you can enable those. The authentication method, it will be password for our setup, and of course you can use the SSL certificate. Again, the admin and the password is not configured yet, but I add them here. Then we will press next. In this tab, we need to configure the repository. We can say that the repository is our database for vulnerabilities. In the wizard, we can create one repository only, but we have several types of repositories. We have IP version 4 repository. We have another types like agent or mobile devices repository. We can create them from the settings or the security center settings, but for now it's only allowed the IP version 4 or IP version 6 repository. We will name it, I will name it anything general, but you might ask yourself why we would have repositories. It's important, first one, to maintain the database or the vulnerability size, database size. It's better to split repositories more than 32 gig of capacity. Then we can use the repositories to share between Tenable security centers and users or another entities. I will name it the first repo. my first repository, it's IP version 4. Now you can specify what IP ranges that will saved or vulnerabilities related to what vulnerabilities will be saved here. So I will keep it for all my IP addresses. I will add zeros, and in the advanced settings you can generate trend data for the vulnerabilities if you want, and how many days for the trending data. I prefer to keep it on the default, it's 30 days. And here is the vulnerability data lifetime. One of the benefits of creating repositories is the data retention. As you can see here, for the active scan, passive scan, it's related to network monitoring, events, LCE, compliance, and mitigation. Here's all the information. I will keep it as it is on the default, unless you have a policy in your organization that must change those variables. So I'll press next. Then we have the organization. The organization, it's a way to divide users. I will create first org. As I told you, it's a way to divide users, groups, and results for scans. Next. No need to add anything here unless you need to fill this information, and if you need to restrict scan ranges, you can add the IP address for the restricted scan ranges. Then next, the LDAP. The LDAP, for anyone wants to create security center users, depending on the Active Directory or LDAP service, you can add the information here to connect it to the LDAP. I don't want to do that. I'll skip it. Yes, here's one of the most important steps. As I told you, we have an admin for the Tenable Security Center service, the HTTPS one, not the 8000. The 8000 is the Tenable Security Center instance or OS. Here we need to create another admin password and admin user and another security manager. So we will have 3 accounts, one for the port 8000, the admin one. We will have another admin for the port 443, is Tenable Security Center service, and we will have another security manager account. So first name, I'll name it first user or user 1, manager. The username will be user 1. I will add a password. Then confirm it. If you need the user to change the password, you need to enable this check. Here's the time zone, the scan result data, time frame, you can change it, cache fetching, and here's the admin password. So here we are configuring 2 passwords and 2 users, not 1 user. The Tenable Security Center service account and the manager account. What's the difference between them? From the administrator, you can change any configuration for Tenable Security Center service by adding scanners, adding repositories, organization, users, anything else, license, configuration, taking the logs. But from the administrator, you cannot launch active scans. From the admin, you cannot launch active scan. From the security manager, yes, you can. So you need those 2 users. Now, next, enable the privacy. After you click next, we have finished our configuration or quick setup guide. you need to review your settings and confirm them. Congratulations, you configured your security center. After confirming the information, you will find a message like this one: setup is complete, congratulations. And then you need to press complete setup. It will take you to Tenable Security Center main dashboard or overview here. If you want to check the configuration, licensing, anything else from the system configuration, here you can find the licensing, the mail setup, SAML, plugin feeds, security. You can upload the plugins or update the plugins from this tab. It's already updated. You have the logs here, publish site keys, scanning. As I told you, you cannot create active scan, or you cannot scan hosts using the admin. You need to go and log in by the user or the manager account. You can create only policies, audit files, and credentials. You can create users here and rules. So let's start from the resources. From the resources, we have the NIST scanner. As you can see, it's not working correctly. Let's go to our NIST scanner and activate it. Now let's talk about configuring the NIST scanner server. So you need to go first to the port 8000 and configure the Tenable core parameters there, like IP address, system time, and name if you want. Update, you might check if there's an update. The system is up to date. I have the correct timing. Here's the name that I created last time. All the parameters here as the same as the Tenable core. So let's go to NIST. As you can see here, the service is running, and here is the portal. If you click this URL, it will take you directly to port 8834. This is the NIST scanner service. Okay, here we will create another admin users. This is confusing for the first time, but if you get used over it, it will be easy. So for the first time, it will ask you if you need to activate a NIST Essential, NIST Professional, or NIST Expert, or NIST Manager, or a Managed Scan. In our Tenable Security Center configuration, we are interested in the NIST Manager and the Managed Scanner. For now, I will configure it as a Managed Scanner, then press Continue. It will be managed from home. It will be managed by Tenable Security Center. Here in the setting, if you need a proxy, plugin fees, encryption, password, anything else, I'll keep it the default. Then we have Continue. It will ask you to create an admin or anything else. Okay, you can name it anything else. I will create it as admin because I configured it in Tenable Security Center admin, and we need to add the password for this service. Then click submit and wait. I created them in or added them in Tenable Security Center because I know what I will configure. As you can see here, it's combining the plugins, so it's a matter of time and you need to wait. It's done, I think so. I will grab a cup of coffee until it's done. Here in my NIST scanner configuration. You can find out the plugin's date. Let me check the status again. As you can see, it's updating the status. Let's check here for any new information. We need to have these plugins information published. If you have internet connectivity to this server, it can be update the plugins and the software. I will not do anything from here. I need to wait until the security center to publish all the plugins by itself. If you log in to the port 8000 for the Nessus scanner, you can see here that the license changed to managed by security center. I need to check something with you to test it for the first time for me. Sometimes it took a long time until the status changed to working, so I restart the Nessus scanner instant, but I will not do it today. As you can see here, it's still nothing here, so I go to the Tenable core management portal using 8000. I checked the logs here. As you can see here in the Nessus, the messages, it stopped or it finished the plugin update before, let's say, 10 minutes for my time. And in the system logs, I'm not seeing anything new about the plugins. So I will go back to Nessus and rebuild the plugin database to check what's happening, or you can do it easily by restarting your instance. I'm stopping the service. It's stopped. You can rebuild, but it needs time. So let me start the service again and go back to check the status for the Nessus scanner. If it's not changed to working, I will restart the server. The protocol error means there's the service is not running correctly until now. Update the status again. Yes, it's compiling the plugins. Let's wait until it finishes. After a while, the plugin compilation done. So let's go and check our security center. So I did only a stop and start for the Nessus service from the Tenable core. I will log in here to check also from the same Nessus scanner. Yes, as you can see here, we have plugins information, the last update, the license expiry, plugin set, and so on. Yep, it's working. As I told you, sometimes you need to stop and restart the service in order for the plugin compiling or to rebuild the plugin schema again. Now it's working.